Nigeria will not become such a state now. The failed effort to create a one-party state placed progressive political party forces on a trajectory to form the APC. It put me on the trajectory which has brought me before you today. A one-party state is not in the oven, nor shall it ever be. That said, we would be guilty of political malpractice if we close our door on those from other parties. Political parties fearful of members leaving may be better served by examining their internal processes and affairs rather than fearfully conjuring up demons that do not exist. For me, I would not say try your best to put your house in order. I will not help you to do so either. It is indeed a pleasure to witness you in such a disarray.
Well, you heard the excerpt of the president's address to the nation in front of the joint session of the National Assembly in commemoration of Nigeria's Democracy Day, June 12, 2025. He spoke about a number of issues. That was an excerpt of it. So joining us this morning to analyze June 12 and Nigeria's democracy journey so far in the country, we have Iyedele Momodu. He's a publisher, businessman, motivational speaker. He also played a key role in the June 12 struggle as well. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Good morning. Great to have you once again on the podium.
Good morning.
Yes.
How are you today?
Yeah, very well, sir. Great to have you. Should I say Happy Democracy Day in arrears? Okay. I also have Barrister. As you know, this is a panel discussion. We have panelists that will be joining us on the conversation. As the conversation progresses, they'll be making comments and asking questions as well. Barrister Emir Ogunlola is here with us. Barrister, good morning, sir.
Oh, Toba. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
And let me say a wonderful morning to Daily too for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Yeah,
How are you, my brother?
We thank God always. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
All right. And of course, a good and wonderful Saturday to Nigerians.
Yeah, we're expecting Prof to join us as well. He's supposed to be on the scope. Professor Remi Ayede, Department of Political Science, University of Ibadan. He was on the call actually. Maybe he got disconnected, but we'll reconnect with him later on. So, but let me begin with you, Iyedele Momodu. I mean, let's start with the speech of the president. Democracy Day, joint session of the National Assembly. What's your reaction to the issues he raised in that speech? From a statement about the internal party crisis, dismissing allegations of wanting to form a one-party state. He says, look, he won't solve the internal crisis for any of these parties. They should go and sort themselves out, but it's a pleasure to see them in disarray. He also gave national honors to, either posthumous or to those living, to those he considered as heroes of democracy, of the struggle against dictatorship and military rule. So what's your assessment of the President Democracy Day address?
Well, I was not in the country the day he made the speech. I've been able to catch up with snippets here and there. And so I cannot speak into totality. But based on the little I heard and the one you also played just now, I thought and I think it was boastful. When you are at the peak of your glory, leaders often make that mistake of looking down on everyone. What the Yorubas call ayeye wotan. My attitude to it, that we were comrades in exile. And I know him, I can claim to know him reasonably well. The Tinubu that I see today is different from the Tinubu that I used to know. So listening to that speech, yes, he has every right to beat his chest and say, I've done this, I've done that politically. But life is not always about politics alone. Governance and leadership must be about managing people and resources. Are Nigerians better today than they were 2 years ago when President Muhammadu Buhari handed over power to President Tinubu? The answer is an emphatic no. And anybody who wishes to contradict me to please feel free to do so. But this is my personal opinion, and I shall continue to express my personal opinion. When you say the opposition is in disarray, why wouldn't they be in disarray if you put all kinds of obstacles on their path? That is the reality we are confronted today. If Obasanjo did half of what Tinubu is doing to opposition today to Tinubu, I don't know where we will be today. And at any rate, when the Obasanjo government was frustrated, we all rose up to support him, despite the fact that I have not been in the same party with him. And it was deliberate. My biggest worry is that we've replaced military dictatorship with civilian dictatorship. And I wonder about it. If you go on Google, you can fact check this. As far back as October 2022, I appeared on 𝐂𝐈𝐒𝐿 Okibaloye's program on Channels TV. And he asked me a question, what do you think if Tinubu becomes the president? And I said, you will have a potential dictator. All newspapers carried. And I think I am right. Nigeria has never, not even under the military, even the Abacha government, everybody started asking to become a life president. It is in the nature of lazy politicians, a lot of politicians who don't have any job to do, they live perpetually on politics. It is in their nature to look for the easiest means of making money. So, and everybody believes right now that the only way you can do it is if you can't beat them, you must join them. I pity them because they are poor students of Nigeria's political history.
Right.
When tomorrow comes, you will see how the same people will move on to the next customer.
Right. Yes. Arendelemo, please hold our thoughts. I will need to take this short commercial break. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation. It's a Podium on 32 FM 94.9. We have Arendelemo joining us this morning. We are looking at the journey so far in Nigeria's democracy, 32 years after the annulment of June 12 election and 26 years of unbroken democracy. We'll be back in a moment to stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them. Hello, do I know you?
It's us, mommy.
But these dirty, sweaty uniforms and socks, we're clean in the morning. Everything don't transform. I understand though. School is hectic. It takes energy to come home this transformed. So I make sure they have some nutritious Milo at breakfast.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
ọ̀rẹ́ mi tí ń bẹ nílùú òyìnbó sọ pé àwọn máa ń ra electronics wọ́n sì máa sanwó ẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ bí wọ́n ti ń gbowó lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ní nàìjíríà wa yìí ó máa gba 20,000 naira wọ́n sì máa retí pé kó kó 500,000 naira wà lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà láti fi ra nǹkan bó bá fẹ́ ra tv náà ó máa tówó jọ bí ẹni dọ́jọ́ ìgbéyàwó sọ́nà. Àlàyé farabalẹ̀ ṣé o tí gbọ́ nípa CDK ni. ó dé o CDK kí ni. níbẹ̀ lèmi ti ra fóònù ọwọ́ mi tó ń wò yìí fìríìjì washing machine home theatre tí mo sì ń sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀ kódà kò ní owó èlé kankan iye tán sì ń tà lọ́jà gan-an onímọ̀ra. irọ́ o ṣé lóòótọ́ wọn ò fowó kankan kún kẹ̀.
ọ̀rẹ́ wa n ò fowó kankan kún kódà gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí mo rà lọ́dọ̀ wọn ni wọ́n ti gbé fún mi tí sì ti sanwó mi tán tí mò ń sanwó mi díẹ̀díẹ̀. ọ̀rẹ́ wa kí ló dé tó ń yọra rẹ lẹ́nu ǹjẹ́ ló mọ̀ pé pẹ̀lú CDK o lè ra àwọn nǹkan èlò inú ilé tó sì máa sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀.
download CDK báyìí lórí Google Play Store tàbí App Store.
CDK, making life easier.
kò bá jẹ́ 24, 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kàn tẹ 32FM949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
Win 20,000 Naira daily with CocoBox and 32FM. Partnering with 32FM 94.9, CocoBox offers you a chance to win 20,000 Naira daily with just 500 Naira. Here's how to play. 1. Dial *347*253# and follow the prompts. 2. Indicate the number of times you want to play. 3. It generates a one-time account number for payment. 4. Make payments via your bank app, USSD, or visit a nearby POS with generated account number. Important, the account number is valid for a few minutes and for that specific transaction only. Please note that if you don't complete the transaction on this generated account, you won't be able to create another one. Increase your chances. Play multiple times to boost your odds of winning. Draw schedule. Raffle draw 9:30 a.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. 10 lucky winners daily, each winning 20,000 Naira. Total payment 200,000 Naira daily. And on Saturdays, 2 lucky winners will be selected on Ege by 1 p.m. Get started. Dial *347*253# now and win big with just 500 Naira.
òtítọ́ ni pé ìpọ́njú ń bẹ nínú ayé tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ onígbàgbọ́ sì ń káàárẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n Jésù ti wí fún àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yìn kí ẹ̀yin kó lè ní àlàáfíà nínú mi inú ayé ẹ̀yin yóò ní ìpọ́njú ṣùgbọ́n ẹ tújú ká mo ti ṣẹ́gun ayé nǹkan wọ̀nyí ni Jésù ti sọ fún wa tẹ́lẹ̀ èyí gan ló mú ìjọ More Than Conquerors Revolutionary Church tó wà ní Sanyo Ìbàdàn wá sórí afẹ́fẹ́ lábẹ́ iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ Pastor Adénẹ́yẹ Martins nínú gbogbo nǹkan wọ̀nyí àwájú ẹni tí ó ṣẹ́gun lọ nípasẹ̀ Kristiani tí ó fẹ́ wa ìwé Róòmù orí 9 ẹsẹ̀ 17 agogo 9 kù ìṣẹ́jú 15 àṣálẹ́ ọjọ́ Sátidé ní kẹ́ jẹ́ ká fi ìpàdé sí lórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí 32FM 94.9 ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run yóò sì yé wa yéké tí gbogbo onígbàgbọ́ yóò sì fọkàn balẹ̀. 32FM 95.9 ọjọ́ gbogbo kìkì ẹ̀rín.
32FM
94.9.
Welcome back. The Podium on 32FM 94.9. In case you're just joining us, we have Aredele Momodu with us this morning, analyzing Nigeria's journey so far in this democracy. 26 years since the military handed over to civilian government and 32 years since June 12, 1993 election. So thank you for staying with us, Aredele Momodu, once again. Let me take you back to some of the issues you raised about the president's speech. You said that, what we're seeing right now is worse than the Abacha days. I'd like you to also clarify on that because, you were someone who was very active in those years. Would you say that things are worse off now in terms of how our democracy has become than what it was under a full-blown, a despot, which many people describe Abacha as? And the other aspect of it, sir, is the issue of the internal party crisis. You said it's placing obstacles. So what kind of obstacles do you think is placing that is so huge that these political parties do not seem to be able to get themselves together? And he also made an example of how he was able to navigate through the challenges he had. He talked about when the PDP was bragging that they were going to rule the country for 60 years, when some governors, even in the Southwest, endorsed the former President Olusegun Obasanjo. But he said he stood, and his struggle at the time metamorphosed into what later became the APC, that they are the ones who are supposed to sort themselves out. Can we actually exonerate the leaders of these opposition parties from the internal crisis by heaping the blame on the president? So those two issues, sir.
I will start by telling you that Tinubu was never confronted by the myriad of problems that opposition is confronting today. Yes, like I said, he has a right to beat his chest. If a man has held down Lagos State by fire, by force for 26 years, Lagos is said to be about the 6th largest economy in Africa. Lagos is like California in Africa. Okay? So the resources of Lagos alone is enough to face the federal government. Who are the people in opposition? None has been able to do that kind of thing anywhere in any part of Nigeria. Let's start with Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar does not even control Adamawa State. He does not control the governor. He does not determine who becomes governor, who is removed, and he does not collect, rent in Adamawa State. He's running a private business. Peter Obi was governor of Anambra State. He does not control Anambra. So he does not have the resources to fight the federal government. So Tinubu was well positioned and is still very well positioned in Labour to control the air that we breathe. So he cannot compare his own kind of opposition with the opposition that we have today. People go, oh, they are weak. Oh, they are not. He knows that some people, either in their collective wisdom or gullibility, who believe that it is so simple. I'll give you a second example. Rivers State. Rivers State is one of the richest states in Nigeria. Where is present crony from YUSUF came from after tenure as governor expired. They have declared state of emergency in Rivers State, a state that was so peaceful. You declare state of emergency when there is crisis of monumental proportions. But today, they have forged emergency rule on Rivers State, and now they have unrestrained and restricted access to the resources of Rivers State. I will give a third example. Their own former governor, Yahya was threatened, was harassed, was traumatized with PSC. What has happened today? It was a sign of what we will do to you if you attempt to monkey with us. So today, nobody is talking about that matter again because they've achieved what they want to achieve. A lot of the governors are afraid that if they can do this, so what will they do to me? Let me just go and join them so that they will leave me alone. A lot of the highest ranking members government today, whether at the executive or legislative levels, have gone through that process of harassment.
Yes, sir. Sorry to come in here, sir. Sorry to come in here. So, are you saying that the president Tinubu is so powerful that he can outplay an experienced politician like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who has also been in the game since 1992?
This has to do with experience. I'm talking about resources available to Tinubu. Nobody has held a state for 26 years before under whatever guise, whether kangarooism, coercion, or cajolement. Nobody has ever attempted it in Nigeria. And that is why I warned in 2022 that, look, this man is my big brother, is my friend, but I could not have fought for democracy and then turn a blind eye because my friend and brother is in power. That's where I'm different. You see, I often joke that only a stupid man can be in opposition in Nigeria. You have to be foolish and you have to be a sacrificial lamb, ready, to lose patronage, ready to lose friendship. If Nigerians will place Nigeria above friendship, above pecuniary gains, above family, above primordial sentiments, Nigeria will instantly be the best that God has made it for the world. We have everything. We have the most brilliant human beings on earth. We have the most hardworking human beings on earth. We have, a land overflowing with milk and honey. But fortunately, without selfless leaders.
Yeah.
It is the selfishness of our leadership now that Tinubu exploit.
Yeah. Speaking of selfishness,
you
sir.
understand the psychology of power in Nigeria.
Yes, sir. So sorry to come in again. I know you want to address the other question, but I just want to chip this one in very quickly. Speaking of selfishness, there are those who say it's the opposition that shot themselves in the foot. I'll take you back to pre-2023, the beginning of the crisis of the PDP, the emergence of the G5. There are those who say it was the selfishness of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, him not wanting to see this ambition that led to the issues that eventually led to the loss of the PDP in that election. You know, the way the primary was conducted led to the exit of Peter Obi. There are those who say if Atiku Abubakar had, played the big man role in bringing all the forces together and stepped aside, maybe the opposition would have been united. Maybe we'll not be here now with Tinubu as the president. That's an angle of the opposition shooting themselves in the foot because of one man's ambition, not realizing that the presidency should be zoned to the southern part of the country at that time. That's the argument of some people. Why would you react to that?
People argue out of ignorance. It is abject ignorance. Number one, there is nothing in the Constitution of Nigeria that stops anybody from any part of Nigeria contesting presidential election. That is why you will see that Muhammadu Buhari was contesting every election, whether the person against him was a southerner or a northerner. He contested. Nobody ever stopped him. Number two is that in PDP, Wike is the one spreading that falsehood. And people who are gullible, they are accepting his argument. Wike was the one who brings Samuel Autumn. I was already in PDP at the time to chair the committee on zoning. He's been the Alpha and Omega. And when they brought Autumn, because Wike was going to contest and he believed that nobody had the resources, Wike is the only other person in the South who has the kind of resources that you can compare maybe to what Tinubu had in the state. Because we have stupendous resources. So they brought Autumn. And what did that committee recommend? They threw open our race. That's why I bought the court. So they can talk to gullible people who don't have facts and who don't check facts. I was trained at the University of Ife, now Bafemi Awolowo University, to do my research very well. Information is power. But the level of education in Nigeria is so abysmally low that people accept whatever they throw at them. So the race was thrown open. Why should Atiku step down his own ambition? Why should they want to step down his own ambition? Why should Omar Elesho not be able to contest? So the only qualification for presidency is where you come from. That's where we will continue to be in this mess. So it's a lie. It's a big lie from the pit of hell for anybody to say that Atiku refused to step down. Atiku contested like every other person. And he won. And he beat Wike. But since then, Wike has remained inconsolable because he lost an election. Then Wike expected to be his running mate. And they did not give it to him. That got him angrier. So that is why he's been complaining. So if he was made vice president at that time, we need to complain today about whether Atiku is a northerner or a southerner. I don't know why people accept such rubbish in our country. People are telling lies. So are you not aware that Wike accepted to be running mate to Atiku if he was selected? But because they didn't select him and they selected the governor of Owa, that's where the problem started from. It had nothing to do with Atiku's ambition. When Atiku met me at the National Convention for the first time, the question was, are contesting? I said, yes, sir. He said, we shall meet on the field. That's democracy. If the Constitution of Nigeria did not allow Atiku to contest, do you think he would have contested? He would not have contested. Peter Obi contested. Nobody stopped him. I contested. Everybody contested because the party did not tell us that anyone was automatically qualified because of where you came from. So I don't know why people are still rehashing all the things.
Okay.
Filled with lies.
Yeah, but before we go to Barrister, let me take you back to the other question. You talked about the Abacha years and now. What's your assessment of how things have become? In your earlier submission, it appeared that you said that things are a bit worse than when we were under a full-blown dictatorship at that time.
Yes, I wasn't aware that Abacha controlled any part of Nigeria solely for himself. I wasn't aware. That's number one. Number two is that under a military dictatorship, it should be expected that there will be tyranny. But under a civilian regime, you will not expect this level of coercion where people are being threatened underground and told that if you don't support us, we will remove it. A lot of the governors are jittery because of this second term syndrome. They are very jittery that, hey, Tinubu holds the power of life and death in Nigeria today. Yeah, it may not be as open as under a military dictatorship, but it is obvious enough that definitely people are being threatened. And you know, an average Nigerian politician is a career politician. He lives only solely by politics. And so they don't want anything to touch them. And that is why you are seeing all these things. Tomorrow will definitely come, no matter how long it takes. And when tomorrow comes, you will remember that Dele Momodu told you that these things are abnormal in a democracy. They are very abnormal. I don't care whether the president feels triumphant today and he feels that, oh yes, I control the heavens and the earth. It's okay. But if I'm the only one, I will continue to speak that truth to power and tell them that what you are doing is wrong. This is not what we fought for. What is good for the goose should be sauce for the gander.
All right.
So that is my position.
Right. Let's go to
everybody can abuse me today and say, oh, hey, you're not supporting the Yoruba man, you're not supporting the South. It has nothing to do with it. I'm not speaking because of any candidate. I want you to get that fact right. This is how I've always spoken. When I supported Buhari in 2015, 2 months after, I saw that he was leading us in the wrong direction. I spoke up. I wrote open letters. He invited me to Aso Rock. And I told him to his face that this thing will not end well. He said, wow. He said, based on my experience. And I gave him a compilation of everything I had written about previous leaders, whether Buhari, Babangida, Abacha, Eshoneko, Obasanjo. I had always maintained my level of, ideals.
Right.
And my goal is for a true democratic country called Nigeria. That's all.
Okay, let's go to Barrister now. Barrister, you have the floor.
I was almost thinking that you were having a one-on-one discussion. Anyway, I would like to go into the economics as enunciated in Mr. President's speech. I am asking whether it is enough to mouth that GDP grew by 3.4% in 2024 and hit 4.6% in the fourth quarter. That is what the president said. But isn't that paper economics? If Nigeria's GDP is $450 billion plus in 2025, or rather 2024, at 4.6% growth, that will be $470.7 billion. That's the GDP. I know that most European countries devote 25% of their GDP to Social Security. How much of this $470.7 billion Nigeria's GDP has been put into Social Security? I did a little math. If we were to calculate income per head, that would be $1,882 per head. At a modest exchange rate of 1,500 naira to a dollar, that would translate to 2.8 million per head. So my question, with these high GDP figures on paper, can we continue to be rich on paper while we are pauperized in reality?
Do you want me to respond, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, the question is for you, sir. The question is for you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That
Yes,
yes. One of the biggest problems I have with this government is what has just been addressed by Barrister. Sir, any government that is serious, you will know almost immediately from the way they apply the resources of Nigeria. I am fortunate to live in other countries, including Britain and Ghana in particular. I just left Ghana yesterday. And I'm happy that you know more about economics than me. I'm not very familiar with all those theories, but I'm familiar with common sense economics. Today, the cedi is the best performing currency in the world. On my way to Accra a few days ago, I heard market women on my flight talking. I'm praising Mahama that in just 6 months, he has been able to stabilize their economy. It is not yet Uhuru, definitely not. I'm not saying everything is perfect, but at least there is a Yoruba proverb that if the gods cannot make our lives better, they should at least maintain it the way they met it. In Nigeria, that's why I asked that question at the beginning of this interview, that can any Nigerian today who is not benefiting from government say his life is better than it was when Muhammadu Buhari handed over to President Tinubu? The answer will be an emphatic no. How much was $1 to Naira when Tinubu took power? Today in Ghana, at the time Mahama came in January, on January 7th to be precise, the dollar was selling for 1.8. As at yesterday, it was selling for about 1.1. Please, if that had happened in Nigeria economy is import-based. We keep bringing things from abroad. So for as long as the dollar remains very high against our own currency, so there is no way food items and other things can come down. That's number one. Number two, the profligacy of this government is second to none. Nigerian president wants to practice capitalism without capital. That's one of my popular quotes. You cannot be an American-styled president in Nigeria of today. It's a sign of unseriousness. You are buying the trendiest presidential jets when you are poor. You have to downgrade the lifestyle of Nigerian politicians. Nigeria is a place where politics is like Christmas is every day. That is the biggest problem confronting us. How do we downgrade the lifestyle of our politicians? I will give another personal example. When I was coming back from Ghana yesterday, I asked my travel agent to call Air Peace. Normally, I would fly business class. Normally. When they told me that one-way ticket from Accra to Lagos in 45 minutes flight would cost me 800,000 plus. I asked them how much is economy, and they told me 300,000 plus. So which means in 45 minutes, I will save over 500,000 naira immediately outside for me. There is nobody I want to tell that I'm a billionaire. I'll be deceiving myself. That's what I expect government to do. The day a Nigerian government says, hey, there is too much suffering in Nigeria, there's too much poverty in Nigeria, we cannot afford this, we cannot afford that, then they will alter their priorities. The priorities of Nigerian politicians now is to spend money as if money is going out of book. And stop that, please.
Right. Okay, so I mean, the two policies that we've seen from this government in the last 2 years are the floating of the naira. Those are the two major policies, and subsidy removal. I'd like to get your position on these two policies, because their own argument is that, you know, they were necessary decisions to, quote unquote, save the country from the looming disaster. So what do you think, what do you make of these policies? Were they necessary, as the president has always said, necessary decisions that need to be taken to address the challenges that they met on ground?
What is the point and purpose of taking very drastic decisions when whatever you have been able to acquire from those decisions have not been well managed? It's about management. Nobody is saying that the subsidy should not be removed, but what is the effect of it? What have we gained 2 years after? So it means that the decision is faulty. It's like taking a patient to a doctor. When the patient got there, it was suffering from hospital. Instead of stabilizing the hospital, the doctor decides to give you an injection and you go straight to the scope. Please, what is the correlation between us and asthma? That's what the Tinubu government has done with the subsidy. And at any rate, there is nowhere in the world where there is no form of subsidy or the other. So, as necessary as it was, the resources are still being wasted. That is what I am maintaining, and that is my position.
Okay, sir. So if
you have paid a lot of money from removal of subsidy, the Nigerians will be asking, so where is this money and what are you doing with it?
Please permit me to come in here, because I am going to disagree with Dele on the issue of subsidy. From my findings, not up to 1,000 Nigerians were responsible for the subsidy scam. And like you rightly said, most countries of the world, particularly the West, had subsidies in one form or another. I just talked about 25% of the GDP of these European countries being devoted to social security, a form of subsidy. My position is subsidy ought not to have been removed. What the government needed to have done was take care of the corruption in the system, because removing subsidy has taken us back over 50 years.
Right. You want to react to that, Aradile Momodu?
Yes. Yes. No, he's very right. That's why I said it's two ways. One, because of the endemic corruption under the subsidy regime, every government felt, oh, the best thing to do is just cancel it. But what Peter Obi, I've listened to him, what Atiku Abubakar, I've listened to him, I've all said is that if subsidy must be removed, we must continue to remove it in phases, like it was done in the past. This is not the first time that subsidy is being removed, but it was being phased out because you have to calculate their attendance risk involved in just coming one day. I think what President Tinubu tried to do was to show what they call bravado, that this attitude of I can do it, I have the courage, I have the confidence, without thinking through the details. So I agree with you, sir.
In other words, he threw away the baby with the bathwater.
Correct. You're absolutely correct. I can't even pause. But what I'm even saying is that in the extreme situation that corruption has become unkillable in Nigeria, you will still think twice. On your first day in office, when you have not even studied what this subsidy was all about, nobody knew how much subsidy was being paid. If you ask them, they'll give quote different figures in NPC. Nobody knew, how many people were benefiting from this subsidy thing and the level of corruption involved.
Right.
But you just said, but what I'm even saying is that let's even give him one credit. That, okay, he had the courage to say, okay, we don't even need this subsidy. Let's do a free fall for our economy. But what have you now done with the gains of subsidy withdrawal?
Right.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
And average Nigerian don't feel it.
I mean, you also, where you were an aspirant in 2023, you participated in the PDP primary. So if you had, emerged as a candidate and you got elected, would you have also, probably done phased removal of subsidy? Would you have also floated the Naira? Because, again, the president argues that floating of the Naira was something that he needed to do, according to him, because some people were profiteering from the way the Buhari administration defended the Naira at the time. So I just want to get your thought. If you were in the saddle, would you take those decisions?
Sir, are people still not profiteering now? Are politicians still not profiteering now? Are their cronies still not? How many people are benefiting today by floating the Naira? The Naira is in the hands of people, while majority of Nigerians are living in quality conditions. For me, it's not about these high-servicing economic theories. It's about cause and effect. That's what they call philosophy. A cause must produce an effect. So now you remove subsidy. What is the effect? You gave an injection to somebody who was suffering from ulcer. The man went into coma and has not recovered for 2 years. And you keep telling the family, please be patient. We needed to do this so that the ulcer will not be the ulcer does not kill. Ulcer is treatable and manageable. That is what I expected any president to do. If I had the president, I would have managed the resources very well. The lack of management of resources that is in Nigeria. It is not economic theory. If it is based on economic theories alone, we will continue to give excuses.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. I just want to be clear, sir. Would you continue defending the Naira if you got elected?
That's what I'm telling you. If you manage your resources well,
Yes.
you won't have to defend anything.
All right.
You won't have to defend anything.
Right.
They
Okay.
just wanted more money for themselves. Look at the amount of money they have borrowed. Why are you borrowing outlandishly when they are supposed to be saving money from subsidy removal?
Okay, let's go back to parts of the president's speech now. Another part that generated reaction was where he gave national honors to a number of people. The late Kudirat Abiola, late Bola Ige, Professor Wole Soyinka, Humphrey Nwosu. Very long list, of those recipients of national honor conferred on them by the president. What are your thoughts on what the president did that day in recognition of those individuals? That's one. And number two, some of the reactions I've read on social media, there are those who say, look, Aredele Momodu should also be on that list. He took an active part in that June 12 struggle. If he were on that list, would you have heartily received the honor from the president?
I want
Toba.
Yes,
Please,
Barrister.
Let me crave your indulgence.
Yes, sir.
Dele, because I want you to add this to the question from my brother, Toba. And the question is this. In 2023, in the celebrated monetary policy case, that's the Attorney General of Kaduna and others against the Attorney General of the Federation and others. The Supreme Court held that matters of such significance as honoring Nigerians, giving awards, is a matter that ought to be discussed with the bodies that have been set up by the Constitution or allowed by the Constitution, and in this instance, the National Council of States. From what I see, it appears that the awards was a one-man show and that there was no consultation with the National Council of States, because I didn't read anywhere that prior to this, there was a meeting of the Council of States. Do you think this award ceremony was conducted outside the knowledge and participation of the National Council of States?
Sir, Barrister, what do you expect from a dictatorship? It's a one-man show. That's what it's called, dictatorship. Dictators don't believe in consultation. So I'm not surprised, but at any rate, let me congratulate all the students. Well deserved. They fought for this democracy. My only attitude to it is that I am happy that my name was not included. A lot of people have called me and had to issue a statement on it. I don't know if you saw my statement. And my statement was very simple and straightforward. That we cannot be celebrating democracy when democracy itself is not respected in Nigeria. That's my attitude to it. If I was offered, I would have had to reject it because it would be hypocritical of me to complain about lack of transparency and democracy in Nigeria, and I'm accepting an honor for democracy. And if I did that, a lot of Nigerians will fight with me that was being ungrateful. You know, the way we banalize everything in Nigeria. The truth is that national honor in Nigeria has become a political and economic award. When you look at the caliber of people and even the quality of awards that are being given out like popcorn. So my prayer is that in the near future, God will give us leaders who truly believe in Nigeria. That is very key. Let me see if I can quickly get, because that will help save us some time.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it will save us some time.
Yes.
you don't mind, I'll give you something quickly. I said, Region 12 National Honors Controversy. I wish to humbly disagree with all those who have reached out to me protesting or complaining that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu deliberately missed out my name in the June 12 honors list released earlier today. I would like to make the following observations. One, it is the prerogative of every government to determine who it wishes to recognize and honor. Two, honorary awards will be given now, later, or never. There are well-deserving who were clearly omitted in that list. June 12, 1993 has been extremely kind to me by offering me the opportunity to fight for democracy in various capacities. And I was amply compensated by the collective sacrifices made by Nigerians. I returned from exile with so many goodies as ordained by Almighty God, including the global brand Ovation International, a second address and citizenship in the UK, a third address in Ghana, worldwide fame, and so on. I would have been embarrassed to be recognized by a regime that is unapologetically trampling on the tenets of democracy and dangerously leading on their beloved nation down the slope of dictatorship and full-blown tyranny. On the other hand, it would have been considered rude and imprudent of me to reject such a national honor from the man I still consider my big brother and friend, despite my vehement disagreement and pleasure with him over matters of political views. I wish to sincerely thank the President for rescuing me from what might have been misconstrued as compromise, arrogance, or disrespect. Massive congratulations to all the honorees. That was my attitude.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Toba,
Yeah. Okay.
Toba, please, I don't want you to leave the issue of awards yet.
Right.
Can you permit me to ask this one question on the subject matter? I was in Unipan when Abacha shot a Nigerian protesting. There were so many people that went out of their way to join in the struggle for the democracy we today enjoy. But nowhere in the president's speech was the contributions of the people acknowledged. Is that to say that the democracy we are running, because it recognized only the big boys, is a government of the big boys, for the big boys, and by the big boys?
I don't know if I can respond.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Again, it's still the same issue. Tinubu is elitist in nature. He's never pretended to be for the long-term proletariat. It's always been elitist. And his elitism has paid off. So he's been able now to hijack Nigeria the same way Lagos has been hijacked for 26 years. And the reason why someone like me, I am humbly staying back just to watch from my window. That's what I've been doing. And I comment occasionally whenever the opportunity presents itself like we're doing now. I am already tired. Before we close this session, I want to see openly that I'm already tired about writing like the biblical day. You maybe anyone who was following my column, the pendulum on the back page this day would not have stopped writing for over a year. Because every time I wrote, one elder, Yoruba elder or the other, you can you stop this nonsense? You cannot be complaining about you. It has never been this bad. I just don't want to mention names. And these are people I respect so much. They all come. So I got tired. I turned 65 on May 16th. I am now an elder statesman by the grace of Almighty God. So I am tired of complaining. Oh, my comment is going from talking. I'm tired.
Right.
But we love our country so much. Well, occasionally we come out and say how we feel about what is going on. Because if the heavens will fall, it will fall on all of us.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, little moment. I mean, are you enthusiastic about the talks of a possible coalition? Because, there are those who are trying to gather or to come together in order to defeat the current ruling party, the APC. We're seeing Rotimi Amechi, who served in the former administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. We're seeing Nasir El-Rufai. We're seeing, quite a number, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, all of them, discussing, strategizing ahead of 2027. Are you enthusiastic about this, or there's no hope, given what you just painted to us about the kind of power the president wields, his capacity, and the resources at his disposal? So let's look at those issues, the possibility of a coalition and versus the power and the capacity of the president, as you mentioned. Are you enthusiastic about that possibility ahead of 2027?
I have long stopped being enthusiastic about political permutations in Nigeria. There is nothing to be excited about. Is it all about just getting power? A man who got power 2 years ago had not even finished mid-term when he started complaining for next term. It doesn't make sense to me. What have you done? People campaign based on their performance level. In Nigeria, we're campaigning based on its north-south, and people are helping them to echo it. So the coalition, I'll be happy if it takes off. Mr. Peter Obi came to see me at home the day before my birthday, May 15th. He came. We spent almost 2 hours together in my apartment. So I have a reasonable understanding of what is going on. So I pray that for the sake of Nigeria, the coalition will take off. They are trying to frustrate them. Of course, they are putting all kinds of obstacles again. Number one, is to deprive them of using the platform of PDP, which is the most formidable platform that can be used against Tinubu. So that's why Wike's job is to make sure that that is not possible. And he has promised that it will not be possible. Wike is insisting that PDP must zone its presidential ticket to the south. And I can tell you, that tells you where they are coming from. They know that as of today, there is no someone who can defeat Tinubu. They know it, including Peter Obi. It will be difficult. I've told Peter this. Whether he agrees with me or not, I don't know. So my little political permutation is that the coalition, whatever political party will defeat Tinubu, would have to come from the direction of what Newton called actions and reactions that we cannot do. So they must come from the opposite side. There is no southerner today who can take on Tinubu. Wike is the one who could have tried it. Of the one got this river. But Wike knew that he needed Tinubu's protection. So it was smart enough to people there. But you can see once we hit it, even the president jocularly told him that when he's going to join APC, they will welcome him. But he does not have that guts to do it because those ones will muzzle him out. There are too many big issues. Then the other thing is that PDP, once PDP is not able to rescue itself from the iron and the grip of PDP, I can tell you that it is going to start. That party will collapse. That's that. So it means that a lot of the operatives of PDP would now have to join the coalition or join the APC. Those are the two options. Then PDP the coalition would have to pick a northern candidate for them to have any chance whatsoever. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough battle. But if they succeed in getting a northerner, and the north, especially the northeast and the northwest, and some parts of the north central, can come together behind that northern candidate, because they are the only agreed part right now. Leave that they handed over to Tinubu, but Tinubu is disrespecting and changing them. Everything, complaining about Buhari handed over for economy and all. So if they succeed in getting such a candidate, and they get a relatively very strong candidate from the south, then there will be a chance.
So I read a moment, sir. Oh, so who among the lot right now do you think has the capacity? From what your analysis, you're saying they should go for another permutating. Do you think has the capacity to go up against him?
You know, I don't mince words.
Yes, sir.
I say it as it is. There is what they call. I described what is required. The coalition will need. We're back to pre-2015, when Nigeria needed a candidate of necessity. Please underline the word necessity.
Right.
The only candidate of necessity that the North can produce today, ready-made, and they will have to enter into different kinds of arrangement. Maybe you will spend only one term. You will do. They have to be very realistic and practical, because it is not going to be an easy mix. So the only person is Atiku Abubakar right now.
Okay.
I call him a candidate of just like Buhari. A lot of people did not want Buhari at that time, but they knew Buhari was the only one popular enough to attract enough votes from the north. Atiku has been contesting since the time he stepped down for Chief Monshood Abiola in Jos in 1993. He understands the terrain, understands Nigeria. He's the only politician who has lived on the sweat. He does not control any state. He has lived on the sweat since he left power in 2007. He's a consummate businessman and an experienced politician. So how they are able to accept him, but if out of ego people decide to go it alone, then they will hand over to Tinubu on a platter.
Right. Okay, so thank you for your analysis there, Aradili Momodu. Some people have also expressed along this line of thought, saying that the only path for the coalition is to take Atiku Abubakar as a candidate, perhaps Peter Obi as a running mate. But again, in politics, 2 years is a very long time. Anything can still happen. We don't know yet. But let me take you back again to the years of the struggle. You were, as you said, in the trenches with Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the struggle against military dictatorship. So what do you think, at what point do you think, because you said the Tinubu you knew then is not the Tinubu that we are seeing now. So what do you think changed? When did that change start happening? Was it after the struggle? Was it when he became governor? Or maybe when he became president? Maybe perhaps there's something about that office, because there are those who say the Buhari they knew pre-2015 was not the Buhari that later emerged when he got into office. Maybe there's something about that place in Aso Rock that changes people. So at what point did you notice that change in the man you knew in the fight against the military and the man you're seeing now? At what point did you notice the changes?
I don't think it's anything personal. Tinubu. You see, politics is like a game of husband and wife. Before you get married, you understand, you are madly in love. But as soon as you get married, you start noticing differences. So until a man gets executive power, you can never predict what you will do with it. That is the situation with Tinubu right now. So because he did not have executive power by the time we knew it, so it was impossible for us to assess him. But now that he has executive power and he believes that, look, there is nothing anybody can do, I am untouchable, I've achieved what anything I could not achieve, I've achieved what people have to. So that is enough to make a man feel like, yes, I have the power. I'm the God of Nigeria.
Okay, so it was when he became president that some of these things started showing because he has executive powers.
No, when
Yes.
he became,
Governor of Lagos State.
governor,
Okay, the governor.
when he became governor, you could see that when he became governor, Mrs. Koforola,
Bokno
governor,
Akerele. Akerele, yes.
Akerele, yes, was the deputy. They fired her. My big brother, Femi Pedro. Chief Femi Pedro was also deputy governor. What happened? The same crisis. So that's when we started suspecting that, hey, something is wrong somewhere. And that's why you will see that someone like me, I never joined his government. I never, fraternized with his government. He spent 8 years. I think I visited his office twice in those 8 years, and I accompanied, friends to the office. So I've always believed in just doing what I can within my own capacity. My life has never depended on politics.
Right. The June 12 struggle is it's still a national wound for many people in this country. There are those who say more needs to be done and for people to have closure. What do you think can be done, regarding this, national wound of June 12? We've seen people, former President Muhammadu Buhari recognize June 12 as official Democracy Day. We've seen the president himself confer posthumous award on late Kudirat Abiola and recognize MK Abiola as well with the GCFR award and all of that. But is that enough to address, the effects that single historic event had on our political trajectory? How do we find closure from this June 12 issue?
It's going to be tough. You can see that since 1993 to date, that must be about 32 years now, I believe.
Yes, 32 years.
Not much has changed. Nigeria has suffered from the recklessness that took place in 1993. Nigeria has suffered. Nigeria has been bleeding dangerously since then. So it's not going to go away because there is still no justice, because there is still no democracy. I will voluntarily support you if a miracle could happen and it will begin to allow democracy to thrive. If you fail in the area of economy, which I'm sure interests barrister, I am sure a lot of Nigerians will. We're not too bothered right now. If it does not run a good economy because it has excessive, that okay, maybe it doesn't know much about what to do. But the least we expect it to at least achieve is to build a solid democratic structure for Nigeria. We were hoping there will be constitutional reforms that will make Nigeria easier and better. We haven't seen any of this. We have been talking about restructuring forever before he became president, and we expect a purported progressive government to be able to restructure Nigeria because there are imbalances at the moment. That again, we are not witness. So where do we go from here? Is to hope that a miracle, and that miracle, I don't know how it will happen, but I believe as a Christian that miracles do happen.
Right.
Nigeria now is the bed of miracle, and when you talk about miracle, it means the situation is virtually helpless and hopeless.
Right. Let's go to Barrister now. Barrister? Hello, Barrister.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Now, I think we should speak about something that appears to be the positive side for the president's speech on Democracy Day. I put question before the democracy. Now, this one resonated with me. The admonition by the president to the legislature to value dialogue over dictatorship, persuasion over suppression, and rights over might. He goes on to talk about encouragement of speech and civil liberties. Also, in reference to the president's stance on malicious slander and libel, I want to ask, is the president not nudging the National Assembly to work towards the eradication from our law books of that obnoxious law, a relic from colonial era, unfit for this stage of our democratic evolution, talking about criminal defamation? Is the president nudging the National Assembly to work to remove that from our laws and reliance placed on civil provisions respecting the matter?
Barrister, sir, you and I know that those speeches are never written by the president. So a good speechwriter would introduce and inject what they feel the people want to hear. It's like an animal farm. I think that's where I came across a quote: "Do as I say and not as I do." Nigeria has virtually become animal farm, where some animals are more equal than others. So all those theoretical things they injected into the speech, oh, fantastic, very interesting. But are they going to make use of those things? I suspect the answer is no. Sorry if I sound very pessimistic. I used to be very optimistic. When I entered, I was a pioneer Jambite in April 1978. That was the year of the Ali must go. And I used to think, yeah, student power and change Nigeria. It did not. Different regime after different regime have come and gone. Nothing has changed. In fact, it seems that Nigeria is an abyss coming for the first and repeated times. So that's just our situation.
Right.
That's why I said we're not in the realm of miracles. And that's why churches and mosques are springing up everywhere. Because Nigerians are waiting a miracle. I know that way to do it now. We have seen that our politicians are not selfless enough to be able to just shed this weight of ostentation. They have refused to shed it.
Right. Okay, so we'll need to take a quick break. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be...
We're not done.
Yeah, no. When we get back, we'll just be taking reactions, calls, and messages, and then we'll wrap up. So we have just yes. So please stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. I think Prof is also back on the call now. Yes, Prof is back on the call. Yes, I just saw that now. He's in transit. So when we get back from the break, we'll bring Prof in on the conversation as well. Please stay with us. Go to our Facebook page, 32FM 949 FNA, to drop your comment, like, and share the video. We'll be back in a moment to stay with us.
32 FM
94.9.
òtítọ́ ni pé ìpọ́njú ń bẹ nínú ayé tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ onígbàgbọ́ sì ń káàárẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n Jésù ti wí fún àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yìn kí ẹ̀yin kó lè ní àlàáfíà nínú mi inú ayé ẹ̀yin yóò ní ìpọ́njú ṣùgbọ́n ẹ tújú ká mo ṣẹ́gun ayé nǹkan wọ̀nyí ni Jésù ti sọ fún wa tẹ́lẹ̀ èyí gan ló mú ìjọ More Than Conquerors Revolutionary Church tó wà ní Sanyo Ìbàdàn wá sórí afẹ́fẹ́ lábẹ́ iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ Pastor Adénẹ́yẹ Martins nínú gbogbo nǹkan wọ̀nyí àwa ju ẹni tí ó ṣẹ́gun lọ nípasẹ̀ Kristiani tí ó fẹ́ wa ìwé Róòmù orí kẹjọ ẹsẹ̀ kẹtàdínlógójì agogo mẹ́sàn-án kù ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún àṣálẹ́ ọjọ́ sátidé ní kẹjẹ́ ká fi ìpàdé sí lórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí 32 FM 94.9 ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run yóò sì yé wa yéké tí gbogbo onígbàgbọ́ yóò sì fọkàn balẹ̀.
jẹ́ 20,000 naira lójoojúmọ́ pẹ̀lú Coco Box àti 32 FM. Ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9 pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ Coco Box ní ó fi àǹfààní 20,000 naira fún wa láti máa jẹ lójoojúmọ́ pẹ̀lú 500 naira. Bó o lẹ́ẹ̀tì ṣe jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ ẹ lọ tẹ *347*253# lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ yín èyíkéyìí nẹ́tíwọ̀kì tẹ́ bá ń lò ẹ fi iye ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ tà sí. Wọ́n send account number tẹ́ ẹ lè lò lẹ́ẹ̀kan péré sí yín. Ẹ sanwó pẹ̀lú backup yín USSD àbí kẹ́ ẹ ṣàbẹ̀wò sí POS tó súnmọ́dọ̀ yín yẹn pẹ̀lú account number tó ti wà lọ́wọ́ yín. Èyí ṣe pàtàkì ìṣẹ́jú díẹ̀ péré ni account number ń fi lè ṣiṣẹ́ ó sì wà fẹ́yìí tẹ́ ẹ ta yẹn nìkan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá kọ̀ láti sanwó sórí account number yóò ṣàdínà gbọ́ òkú fún yín látún ti ta lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe ta tó pọ̀ sí ni àǹfààní ṣe wà ń bẹ̀ fún yín láti jẹ aago 9 àbọ̀ lówùrọ̀ aago 2 ọ̀sán aago 3 àtàago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ látọjọ́ ajé Monday sọ́jọ́ ẹtì ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ náà máa yí koto. Èèyàn 10 ni ó gba 20,000 naira lójoojúmọ́ 200,000 naira lápò ṣẹ́yìn náà rí púpọ̀. Ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta Sátidé èèyàn 2 péré ni ó jẹ lórí ètò ègé láago kan ọ̀sán. Ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lónìí *347*253#. Ẹ̀yin náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí kẹ́tẹ̀ *347*253#. Ẹ jẹ́ 20,000 naira pẹ̀lú 500 naira. Coco Box àti 32 FM ó ti pọ̀ jù.
ẹ̀yin fans mi. it's okay. ẹ lọ sórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ní 32 FM 949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ àsáfù.
it's okay.
32 FM News. First, we're telling real stories.
We air stories from the perspectives of the people. Stories that our people can relate with.
In news delivery, we are fast, objective, and accurate.
We're all about changing the narratives by telling underreported stories and bringing those behind the news to your doorsteps.
At 12 noon and 4 p.m., we will continue to bring you comprehensive and factual news at home and across our various social platforms.
The stories you need to keep up with, from community news to sports, business, politics, and a lot more.
32 FM News, first with telling real stories.
Báwo ni òkú ṣe ń sọnù ní dìpátímẹ́ǹtì yín gan-an pàápàá?
Bókù ṣe ń sọnù, à ń san oúnjẹ ni.
Mo lóògùn o. Oògùn burúkú ń bẹ lọ́wọ́.
Ẹ̀yin àti tani takùnrin níwájú tani.
Adébíyìtẹ́ o, ọba Adébíyìtẹ́ o, kádé pẹ́ lórí kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ kẹ́ ló lẹ́yìn pẹ́ ọba Adébíyìtẹ́ o.
sinimá lórí ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9. kí ìrètí gbé wọjà ìjó tòun àjò kí ìrètí gbé wọjà ayọ̀ tòun ayọ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀. àsìkò tó wà yìí o láti máa jẹ̀gbáládùn ètò àràmàǹdà tí ń ṣàfihàn sinimá àgbéléwò Yorùbá Nollywood lédè Yorùbá pọ́nbélé. ẹ jẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ yànnàná ẹ̀ kádẹ́jàmọ̀ yàtọ̀ sẹ́jà ẹ gbọ́ báwo ni ìtàn ọ̀hún ṣe rí àwọn ògbó lẹ̀dá ìtàn àwọn òṣèré wo ló kópa nú ẹ̀ báwo ni wọ́n ṣe kópa ṣé wọ́n fakọyọ àbí wọn ò fakọyọ ẹ máa pàdé Waheed Ìṣọ̀lá ọ̀rọ̀lábí pírẹsẹ̀ntà ní gbogbo ọjọ́rú Wednesday látàgò 12 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 10 ọ̀sán tààgò kan ó fi ró kan gó lórí ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9 sinimá àgbéléwò Yorùbá Nollywood tó jáde lọ́sẹ̀ yìí àwòjọ yànnà náà ni yóò dùn tòmí alágbá Yorùbá.
32 FM 94.9 ìkànnì tẹ́gbẹ̀ ń jí sòrò ẹ̀.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back. The Podium on 32 FM 94.9. We see Avaredile Momodu with us discussing Nigeria's democracy. 32 years of June 12 annulment and 26 years of unbroken seamless transition from one government to another. Remember, we're live on Facebook through 2FM 949. Let's try and bring in Prof now. Prof is in transit actually, but let's see if he can join us. Professor Remi Ayede, Department of Political Science, University of Ibadan. Hello, Prof. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can unmute your device, Prof, so you can join us on the conversation. Hello, Prof. Oh, okay. It appears Prof is not with us. All right. You can call us 0705 5949, 0809 7949. You can also call 0906 2949 as well. Okay, Prof, you're here. So, Prof?
Yes, I am.
All right. Go ahead, Prof.
Yeah. I don't know if you have spoken about the pardon that was granted by the president.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, and the idea is of some people is that the pardon didn't go far enough. That what the president was expected to have done is to vindicate those Ogoninai and Sarua as heroes of the Niger Delta struggle and for environmental justice in Nigeria. What is the opinion of our guest? And let me welcome him, Chief Dele Momodu. You are welcome to the podium.
So, how are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Thank you, sir. Well, if you had joined us earlier, you would have understood my attitude to some of these issues. I think everything now is very political and very personal. Every government that comes just say, hey, how can I benefit from certain occurrences from the past? So they will barely scratch the surface without going in deeper, which is how I understand your questions, that they did not go far enough. They will not go far enough because next year, closer to the next election, they will come and look at what they can achieve from the grace of our past. And then, attempt or pretend to be something.
Please hold that thought, sir. Hello. Please hold that thought, sir. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name, where are you calling from, sir?
Yeah, 32 FM, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, 32 FM. Your name, sir?
Okay, is that the program where you have Dele Momodu?
Yes, this is the program. Yes, yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
My name is Murphy.
Okay, go ahead, Murphy.
I listen to your program almost every time. But there's something I noticed. Why do you always gather people who are always politically biased? I mean, everybody's entitled to his opinion. I've been listening to the two gentlemen. They've been saying the same thing. I mean, it's always the case with your station. Every time, you are meant to gather to bring one positive, one negative. Let somebody say something that is positive, another person is saying something negative. That's the way it should be balanced. As for the barrister, I'm very familiar with him. Every time, he's always 24/7 is negative. Dele Momodu, a man I so much respected. I don't know what is happening to him of late. Maybe because he's not getting political patronage. I expect him to criticize the government, not in this manner. Get it? Whether you want to say I'm whatever, I'm a supporter of that. I'm not apologetic about it. I'm saying that let's be balanced. Let's be balanced. Everything you people are saying there, show clearly that you are politically biased. I mean, I'm beginning to think your station like Arise Television.
Okay, Mr.
Honestly
Murphy.
speaking,
Mr. Murphy.
I'm beginning to look at you as Arise Television. That's what you do 24/7. I'm beginning to look at you as
Mr.
the
Murphy.
barrister, as Rufai of the Arise Television.
Right.
So please,
Thank
gentlemen, I'm only just telling us, let's be balanced. I don't know why Bob B is like this nowadays. A guy I so much respected, wonderful guy. I don't know what's wrong with him of late. If criticize the government, yes, I agree with you, but be factual.
Right.
Be factual and state it the way they are. The way you are doing it clearly shows that you are biased.
Okay, Mr.
And
Murphy.
anybody who wants to be truthful will tell you.
Mr.
That's
Murphy.
the truth.
Mr. Murphy. Mr.
So,
Murphy, you've made your points. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, let me just
answer that individual.
All right.
Please.
Can
Barrister,
you
I think,
have not been listening.
Barrister, please. I think Reddy Momodu wants to respond first because he said that he's making this statement because he has not been getting appointments. So I think he wants to respond to that.
Yes.
Okay, I will go on after him.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have any problem with Mr. Matthew. He's entitled to give us. If appointment was my problem, I would have gotten one. I joined politics in 1982. I don't know where Mr. Matthew was at that time. If he was familiar. I've been one of the most blessed Nigerians. And I'm truly humbled. And that is why I am using my voice to fight for my country. It is not easy to be in opposition. In fact, it is a thankless job to be in opposition. Do people make money in opposition? The answer is no. All the largesse is distributed by government. And I'm not boasting. There are not many people closer to Tinubu than myself. But I chose country over friendship. He doesn't know what is wrong with me. Maybe because I've not gotten political appointment. Buhari invited me in 2016. It's on Google. Dele Momodu meets president. Go and check it. 2 months in his government. Long before he assembled his cabinet. I did not go there to seek political appointment.
Right.
I went there to tell him the truth. And when I came back and I realized that his government was not changing, I publicly apologized to Nigeria that I made the mistake of supporting Buhari.
Okay.
So that's what the public was
yes.
about.
Let's hear from Barrister now. Barrister, and then we'll
Thank
go to
you
Prof.
very much.
Yes.
Where do you call that man name? Murphy, I'm not sure if he was listening to this program from the beginning. I raised the good side of the president's speech on his admonition to the National Assembly on the matters relating to slander and libel. Now, having said that, I don't think this man should be crying more than the bereaved. Why should he be taking Panadol for somebody else?
Sorry, Barrister. Prof, it appears there's a background noise. There's a background noise, Prof.
Yeah, it's not coming from
okay,
me.
It's Prof. Okay, Barrister, go ahead. Yes.
Yes. So, why should he be taking Panadol for somebody else's headache when the president himself said he welcomes criticisms because he learns from it and gets 1 or 2 points that sometimes are useful. Mr. What do you call yourself? I don't owe you or anybody else any apologies for the opinions that I hold. You can go to court.
Right. Okay. I just want to also say that it's a democracy, and one of the things that we're supposed to enjoy is the freedom of expression, ability to express your opinion without fear of being intimidated in any way whatsoever. We are an apolitical radio station. We allow people to air their views without any form of infringement whatsoever. And from my experience doing this job, there's something called confirmation bias. People have different biases. Even Mr. Murphy that called has his own bias as well. So when somebody expresses their opinion, you can counter the opinion without trying to insult or make derogatory statements. Let's take this call. Hello. And then we'll go to Prof. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Yes.
Like what the other man said, is to balance people. These people, like Momodu, the June 12th, that was when he made his money. From somebody as whether they know Mokri, from those generals who killed Abiola family and killed his wife and killed his business. So what is he trying to say? He made his money then. So other people and scatter all over. be a pope in your own thing.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you clearly. I can't hear you clearly, sir.
No.
Anything.
I can't hear you. Please call us back. Okay, so let me go to Prof now. Prof? Yes.
Chief Dele Momodu, some time ago you came out to declare that is it the 25 million naira that you used to show interest in the presidential race was a waste. And not many people were surprised because the exorbitant cost of candidates in Nigeria has been on the debate. What do you think can be done to reduce the role of money in politics in Nigeria?
Nothing can be done because it is not peculiar to Nigeria. Even in America, I'm sure Kamala Harris was abused by $1 billion. The logistics of it is not about bribery. People think when you talk about billions, like because you are bribing the electorate.
Hello, sir.
At least two agents are voting you. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Okay, every presidential candidate, if you are serious enough, number one, that's why it is usually limited to the top 2 political parties. You need your agents, an average of 2 or more agents per voting unit. And you can imagine how many thousands of that we have nationwide. And you are paying them anything between 2,000 naira to 5,000. So I remember during Buhari, because I was an active participant, it took about 21 billion naira to achieve that, to have agents. But if you don't defend your votes, even when you defend it, it is still very tough. Now imagine when you have not defended it. So you need about 20-something billion just for agents alone. Adverts are very expensive. You have to run adverts in virtually every state, every local government in Nigeria. That might run into another over 20 billion. And it's the same thing in the US, it's the same thing everywhere. So it's not peculiar. Then Nigeria now also have to prepare for war, because election in Nigeria is a matter of life and death, because winner takes all.
Right.
So you have to prepare for war, go and get all your thugs and whatever they are called, the cult members, everything, they are involved. Student organizations, civil societies. So it requires heavy funding. And that is why I tell people who say somebody should step down for somebody. Nobody will step down his own ambition after investing all that. It just doesn't.
Right. Let me take more messages on Facebook now. By the way, you can call us 0906 2000 949 0705 5000 949 0829 7000 949. On Facebook, Kevin Igwe. Okay, let me take this call and then I'll go back to the message. Hello.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning, sir.
Is that 2FM, right?
Yes, 2FM, yes.
Please, the question is to Momo, please. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Please.
Please call us back if you can. Hello. Please move away from your radio. Move away from your radio, sir. Move away from your radio. Hello. Please move away from your radio. Hello, good morning.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir.
I was saying that you, like what the other earlier man said, you have to balance it.
I think, hello. Please call us back if you can. Hello, okay, yes. Good morning.
Yes, sorry. Is it good now?
Yes, okay, go ahead now.
So, please, my question is to Momodu. This is calling. I just want him to explain. Is Tinubu administration a luxury, expensive administration? Did you get that? That's one.
What?
That got in place.
A luxury? You said a luxury what?
luxury expenses administration governing.
Okay.
Okay. Second, is any cabal in Tinubu administration, please? I want Momodu to give the answer. Chief Momodu, right?
If there's any cabal in his government. Oh, okay.
Yes. And what does cabal mean to Chief Kele Momodu in politics?
Right. I'm sure he can hear you. All right then. Thank you. Right. So you want to respond to that, sir? Hello, sir.
Hello, I can hear you now.
Yes. Yeah, you want to react to that? He says, is there a cabal in Tinubu's government, and what do you understand by cabal in politics? Maybe it's just our reality. Maybe we don't call them cabal. Maybe they are just, as you said, people that help people to win election and all of that. As you said, the system is so monetized that, you need the strong financial base, strong support base as well to emerge. Is that what translates into cabal in government?
Of course, every government has a cabal. There is definitely a cabal in Tinubu's government, like all previous governments. But Tinubu is the capo di tutti capi, is the boss of all bosses. What we have today is a serious mafia in Nigeria.
Right. Okay, on Facebook, 𝐿 says, considering the principles of democracy and the manner in which some individuals rose to leadership, claiming to have fought against military rule to restore democracy, can we genuinely regard them as true democrats, or did they merely use these democratic ideals as a means to gain power, only to govern with authoritarian tendencies, sometimes even worse than the military regimes that they replaced? Okay, that's 𝐿 on Facebook. Let me take more. This one says, barrister, they can claim that they followed due process before giving the national honor in the era of Zoom meeting. Okay, why is it difficult for people? What the obstacles are that the president has placed on the path of other political parties in the country? I think he answered that already. Okay, so, Momodu, one of the comments on Facebook talks about, yes.
Let me start from the rest, sir.
Yes, sir.
About PDP in Lagos. I don't know much about PDP in Lagos, but the thing is that it's not also restricted to Lagos. It's nationwide. And once a politician does not have the resilience of what it takes to accept failure, you understand?
Yeah.
I have been perpetually in opposition, but I am not a typical Nigerian. That's why I describe myself not as a politician, but a part-time politician. Politics for me is part-time. But an average Nigerian politician wants to believe that he needs politics for him to continue to be relevant. You understand?
Yes.
So they cannot wait. It's like a fish out of water. So they cannot wait for long outside politics. They love action. Politicians love where there are activities, and nothing is happening in PDP. So don't be surprised if people are just being shaped out of the expectation that there will be more action for them in APC. And tomorrow comes, and they still don't find that action. Nothing will stop them from jumping back tomorrow to join the coalition. There is no shame about it. Nigerians don't have any shame when it comes to jumping around. When I left Labour Party in 2010, I wanted to contest presidential election in 2011. The first thing I thought about was which party would I go to that would be similar, at least in whatever form of ideology, as the one I am living. So I joined the National Conscience Party, where Gani Fawemi had contested before. Chief Gani was probably the greatest Nigerian radical I ever knew. And we were very close. So I considered going there. But I learned a lesson. The lesson is that no fringe political party today in Nigeria is configured to win the presidential election. They can win 1 or 2 seats here and there. ABGA won in Anambra State, Labour won in a few states and a few constituencies and all that. So that is what will continue to happen unless they can come together and form a solid bloc that cannot take on the behemoth of APC. It's not an easy job for you to raise 20-something billion to get agents nationwide. When I told the obedience at first, now we are the best of friends, they thought I was trying to disparage Peter Obi. I said, you need structure. They said they didn't need structure. I said, you needed money. They said they didn't need shishi. Now we know how it all ended. They worked very hard. They did everything. But they ultimately cheated by lack of the structure and the humongous resources required. So the lesson I learned, and that's why I joined PDP, was if I'm opposed to APC, the only party with structures and resources to take out APC was PDP. That's why I joined PDP.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Okay, so final call and then we'll wrap up. Hello. 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 Okay. Right. Okay, so let's get Prof, your final round of question, comment. Okay, let me see if I can take this. Hello. Right. Prof, your final round of questions and comments as we wrap up the show.
Yes, I'm happy that Chief Dele Momodu has made the point about the requirement for to succeed in politics, especially in terms of money and structure. But what does that imply for the future of governance? Because people keep complaining that those who enter government just fleece the country. If nothing can be done about the huge resources required to contest for those critical offices, how then can we reduce the cost of governance? Or is there no hope for that?
Like I said, everywhere in the world, you need money, a lot of it, for you to succeed. But that does not stop you from doing the right things when you get power. Whether you like him or not, I think one of the best that we've had in Nigeria will be Baba Olusegun Obasanjo. It wasn't perfect, apart from it, but at least everybody knows that if you invest in Obasanjo, it does not mean that when he becomes president, you can go to him and say, because I put some money or something, then I'm going to misbehave. So every leader should try to source his funding from ethical character and not from, what would I call them? People who have no conscience. And we know them. You will know the motive. There is no country, whether Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, have participated in presidential sourcing for funds. I remember President Jonathan Mills in Ghana. I was one of the people contacted by his pastor at that time, God bless his soul, Pastor T.B. Joshua, when Prof came to Nigeria to source for funds. But what Prof did after he got power was to call those who supported him. He didn't give them contracts. He didn't say they should come and destroy Ghana. I remember one of them got a banking license. Yes, he's now a senator in Nigeria, Jimoh Ibrahim. I was one of the people who persuaded him that you can find a way to support Prof. And Prof maybe became president. And he invited Jimoh to his office. In fact, Jimoh was reluctant. And that was how Jimoh got the license for the Energy Bank in Ghana at the time. This is what Nigeria is not doing. Nigerians believe so much in contracts that either they will not execute or they will overinflate. That is the kind of dream I have for my own country, that God will give us leaders who don't believe money is the...
And it is still related. to that.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So it is still related to that controversial phone call. If that man would like to know Obasanjo's administration from day one to the end, of course, the good sides of his administration, I also eulogized. I was in the forefront criticizing Yaradua at that epic period of his reign to transmit power to Goodluck Jonathan. I criticized Goodluck Jonathan. I was one of those people that called him an ineffectual buffoon. If they like to know, I was the first face and voice on Tinubu's GoTel TV, which became TVC. Today, I fought in TVC. Today, I fought PDP, tooth and nail. I was in the forefront of those who drove Salisu Buhari away from speakership of the House of Reps. Olubunmi Ete was not spared.
Hello, Barrister?
Yes.
Yes.
I am still with you.
Okay, yeah.
I have had calls to support the current president when he was making inroads in the area of security, when our armed forces were doing gloriously on the field. I have supported the president. I have been with Wike supporting him on enforcing the law to the letter concerning ground rents. My philosophy has been, is, and will remain that I will not tolerate in mine that which I condemn in others. I think that makes a big difference between that gentleman and me. I don't belong to any political party.
Right.
Now let me do the thing we usually do.
Okay.
Dele, we like to make you laugh before you go as a therapy. I hope you are ready to laugh.
Oh, yes, sir.
You see, you are 65 years old now, and you are still so young. I can't say your performance is the other room. I beg to give us this. What do you use now? You did take something.
You see, Barrister, what I use, and I will recommend it to all Nigerians, is contentment. That's the only thing. When you have peace of mind, you are not changing what you have been doing. Trust me, you will perform in every aspect of your life. I have never slept 24 hours in any hospital in 65 years. Never. Never. Anything I cannot change, I stop it. If I enter my bed now, I'm talking to you, I'm taking my coffee. In the next few minutes after this interview, because I slept very late, I had a governor of Osun State in my apartment last night. And we were here till very early morning. So I was aware of this interview. I will go back to bed now to catch some more sleep. Despite this, it's contentment. Why would I not be join Tinubu? Anybody can say whatever they like. I'm one of the two certain. Well, I've never joined it, even when he was governor for 8 years. I'm emphasizing it. So they come, maybe because they did the government. Like the grace of
Right, thank you, sir. Thank you, Barrister.
What's that room?
Oh, Barrister, please, let's.
when you have peace, you don't have peace. The thing will not even stand up.
Okay.
That's what happens.
I think.
Yes.
Right. I think we should wrap up now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barrister. Thank you, Prof. Aredili Momodu. Thank you so much. Yes.
One of these.
Yes.
I hope to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Barrister. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Aredili Momodu, for being a part of the conversation. It's been a very informative conversation with you as Nigeria celebrates 26 years of democracy since 1999, 32 years of June 12 election, a very historic moment in the political trajectory of the country. Thank you, dear listener, for being a part of the show. We'll be back again next Saturday on the podium. My name is OLORUNTOBA YUSUF. Thank you to my producer, YUSUF. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.